My daughter called me a broke loser online after I refused to give her $175,000 for her wedding, so I cut off all support and contact. But what her fiancé did next left her shook and forced her to break the engagement, and now she wants her broke loser daddy to come back. I raised Trisha alone after my wife died from an epileptic seizure when she was 6 months old. For 23 years, it's been just us. I threw myself into work, building my business from nothing, working 16-hour days so my daughter would never want for anything. My sister helped raise her and constantly warned me I was spoiling her, but I couldn't help myself. Every time Trisha asked for something, I'd remember my wife never got to see her grow up, and I'd say yes. Dance classes, designer clothes, spring break trips with friends, a brand new car for her 16th birthday. If she wanted it, she got it. Last month, Trisha announces she's getting married to Jerry. They'd been together exactly 1 year. She comes over with this massive binder, sits me down at my kitchen table, and slides it across to me with this expectant smile. It was her wedding budget, $175,000. I actually laughed because I thought she was joking. She wasn't. She wanted a venue that charges $40,000 just for the space, a custom Vera Wang wedding dress, designer bridesmaid dresses for 8 girls, a 12-piece band, flowers that cost more than my first car, and a guest list of 200 people, half of whom she barely knew. I took a deep breath and told her I had $75,000 saved in a wedding fund. I'd be happy to contribute that, and we could figure out the rest together. Maybe she and Jerry could pay for some of it, or we could scale back on a few things. Her face completely changed. She asked me if I was seriously going to ruin her wedding because I was too cheap to pay for it. I tried explaining that $175,000 was a down payment on a house. She said if I really loved her, I'd make it work. Then she grabbed her binder and left. I felt terrible, guilty, like maybe I was being selfish. So I called my banker friend that same night and started arranging a personal loan. It would stretch me thin financially, but I could make it work. I'd surprise her with it once everything was finalized. She didn't call me for 3 days. Then my sister texted me a screenshot. Trisha had made a Facebook post, a long one. She called me a broke loser who was never there for her as a kid, who chose work over his daughter, who couldn't even afford to give her a proper wedding. Then she wrote that her mother probably died because of my negligence, that I was too focused on work to even notice my wife was sick. That line broke something in me. My wife's death wasn't my fault. The doctors confirmed it, but Trisha weaponized it anyway, posted it publicly for hundreds of people to see, just because I couldn't hand her $175,000 without question. I blocked her on everything, canceled the loan application, didn't answer my phone for 2 days straight. My sister had to come check on me because I wasn't responding to anyone. She found me on my couch, hadn't showered, barely eaten. She made Trisha take the post down, but the damage was done. A week later, I finally unblocked her. She called that evening. Her apology was garbage. She said she was just really stressed about wedding planning and didn't mean any of it, but her tone was annoyed, not apologetic, like I was inconveniencing her by being hurt. So I cut her off mid-sentence, told her I'd been arranging a loan to cover her entire wedding as a surprise. Let that sink in for a second while she gasped with excitement. Then I told her I'd canceled it after her post, and I wouldn't be contributing a single dollar to her wedding now. Before she could respond, I kept going. Told her that since I was such a broke loser, I wanted every penny back that I'd spent on her since she turned 18. College tuition, $87,000. Her apartment near campus, $54,000 over 4 years. Her car, $31,000. Spring break trips, shopping sprees, all of it. Total, $198,000. I told her she had 6 months to start making payments. Then I told her that once she paid me back, we never had to speak again. She wouldn't have to deal with her broke loser dad, and I wouldn't have to deal with an ungrateful brat who trashed her dead mother's memory on social media. By the end, I was screaming into the phone. I hung up on her. 2 days of silence. Then yesterday, unknown number. It was Jerry. He was very polite, very careful with his words. He said he needed to talk to me about some concerning information. Apparently, Trisha had been telling him for months that I was covering the entire wedding, that money wasn't an issue, that her family was wealthy. He thought he was marrying into money. When he found out I'd cut her off completely and that she actually owed me close to $200,000, he told me he needed to reconsider the relationship timeline and whether they were financially compatible long term. He broke up with her that afternoon. She called me last night, sobbing so hard I could barely understand her. Jerry left her. The wedding was off. She was sorry. So sorry. Didn't mean any of it. Could I please help her? Please forgive her. I told her I'd think about it and hung up. My sister says I went too far. Maybe I did.